All right, so on skills practice, we are working on page 55 through 56, section B. So section B is right over here where I scroll down on page 55, and it says, use the diagram and the given information to write two statements that can be justified using the triangle mid-segment theorem. So it is given that ABC is a triangle and that D is the midpoint of AB and E is the midpoint of BC. So let me just put a star here. So this is the midpoint of AB and E is the midpoint of that side of the triangle. So we have two midpoints, which means we've made a mid-segment when we connected it. So the statements that you can write about this, there's two things. The first thing you can write is that DE is parallel to AC. So the first thing I want you to write is that this mid-segment is parallel to the third side of the triangle, AC. I'm also going to mark that on our triangle like that. So I said that they are parallel. Okay, that's the first statement that you can write. The second statement is that you have pairs of equal sides. So over here, we have that AD is the same length as DB. Because D is the midpoint of AB. We can also write BE and EC are congruent. And then the last thing that you can write is that DE is equal to 1/2 of AC. So just to recap, DE is this one. This one is 1/2 the measure of AC, which is this bottom side, okay? So we're going to write those statements. I'll give you guys some time to write them out. And I'm going to also view the waiting room because, okay, no, that's fine. They're for the next class. Okay. Any questions about what we wrote here? All right. Let's do another one. I just realized right now that they want us to just write two statements, so I'm going to simplify it and only write those two statements, okay? So there's two statements for number 2 that we want to write is that VW and TS are parallel. Is parallel to TS. I don't know why those vertical lines are appearing, but that's okay. So the first statement is VW is parallel to TS, and the second statement is that VW is equal to 1/2 the measure of TS. So those are our two statements. VW is half of TS. Those are the two statements, okay? Because I just realized it says two statements, so we don't need to write these middle two. We just write the first and the last. The middle two are still true. It's just that they're not the two statements that they wanted. So we write that they are parallel. And then we write that the shorter one is half of the bigger one. Okay, let's go on to the next one. Number 3. So if you scroll down, or I guess flip your page, however it is that you are doing it. We're gonna do the same thing for 3 and 4. So here's our shorter mid-segment, and here's our third side of the triangle. We are writing that 1, they are parallel. So XY is parallel to PN. And then we are writing that XY is equal to half the measure of Pn. So the short one is half of the bigger one. Any questions? Okay, let's do number 4 and then 5, 6, and then I think that's it for this section. Yeah, 4, 5, 6. So for the first statement, we are writing that they are parallel. So TU is parallel to XZ. The second statement we write is that one of them is half the size of the other. So you write that TU, the smaller one, is equal to half the size of the bigger one. Any questions on 3, 4? Okay, we're almost done, so let's do 5 and 6, and then you guys can turn this in, and then maybe even get started on delta math. So number 5, I bet some of you have already done it. They are parallel.
Miss Jade,
Yes?
could you go up real quick because you froze for like a couple minutes, so I couldn't get them. Yeah,
Oh, I'm
thank
sorry.
you.
All right, you got it?
Hold on, I'm almost. Give me like 10 seconds.
Okay.
All right, I'm good.
All right, so for number 5, the first statement is that they are parallel. So MN is parallel to JL. And then the second statement is about their sizes. So MN is the small one. The small one is equal to half the size. Oh gosh, that doesn't look right. Half the size of the bigger third side. So MN is half of JL. Okay, and finally for number 6, we are writing first that they are parallel. RQ is parallel to AB. I guess I could have written QR, same thing. And then you're going to write that the smaller one is equal to half the size of the bigger one. And that's it. That's it for our skills practice. Just 6 problems. Any questions on those? Okay, so it doesn't sound like there's any questions, so I'm going to stop the recording.